All right, so Jaden said he's playing.
News to me.
What would that mean to you to have him back?
Well, I mean, obviously, you want all your, your players. You want everybody there to, when you go against people. But it's also the preparations as a coach, like getting ready to play against Iowa. They cause a lot of problems with their press. They cause a lot of problems just with how hard they play, and then their activity on the offensive end, their ability to score the ball and push the ball, and just set the tempo of the game the way they want it. Yeah, especially at home, it's a very difficult process. You have to be efficient, but you just can't let them get what they want. If they get what they want and they set that tempo and they push the basketball, it's normally going to be a long night for you. So those things are more important than, he's got to get himself mentally ready in the game. It's hard. It's hard to win games in this league, but it's really hard to win games on the road.
Is it still completely relevant context, that first game, because they didn't have Murray? Keegan Murray, obviously.
I think there's things that, is going to translate into this game. I think there's other things that aren't. Obviously, they weren't at full strength, and a guy that averages around 25 points a game, you lose that, and then the game got really close at the end. You would like to think that they had been in a better position with him, but he's is a big piece of our prep. Just no different than Trace Jackson Davis playing in the game and then getting hurt. We spent a lot of time prepping for him. We spent a lot of time prepping for Keegan Murray, and rightfully so. But they have a lot of good players, and they have a lot of skill. They have good size. They crash the glass. They don't turn the ball over. So it's a Purdue getting ready for Iowa thing, but we're definitely put a lot of time in trying to get ready for Keegan Murray, but making sure that we also respect all their guys on their team.
You feel like you're in a better position when they do press to handle
I
that?
hope so. Yeah. I think the true test of that is how we play during the game. You put in time, you break things down, you watch film, you do breakdown drills in practice, you do live things in practice. Obviously, we're not going to simulate the press as well as they're going to do it, but it's still, you just got to play with confidence and play under control and help each other. I think more than anything, we abandoned the basketball just too many times. And what I told our guys is when we did what we were supposed to do, we had a lot of success. When we didn't, that's where our struggles came in. A guy doesn't flash when he's supposed to flash. A guy doesn't get away from the basketball when he's supposed to get away from the basketball. And those little things end up being big things when it comes to deflections and steals and pick sixes.
Just kind of the success they had offensively in the second half. I know they were in come-from-behind mode for a good portion of that. But is there anything when you went back and watched that game you ID'd that has to be better defensively or anything like that? You did a pretty good job on Bohannon and whatnot.
Right, yeah, we did a good job of staying with him. We spent some time really talking about that and trying to be with him, even though he can get hot and make tough shots, and that can happen pretty quickly. Our interior defense has to be better. They scored on us on the interior. We have to do a better job of boxing out, not letting them have second chance opportunities, but also keeping them out of the lane, whether that's they do a good job of their motion with their curl cuts and things like that, trying to keep them away from driving that, keep them from a ball screen defense standpoint. They really worked us downhill and got to the rim. So we got to do a better job of keeping the ball out of the paint, but also not letting them get layups. They're great, in terms of running for layups, running for deep post-ups, and just being able to play, off their transition game and off their motion game.
Jaden's situation aside, if he plays, he plays, but is Brandon still kind of at the top of your rotation in this game coming off the bench, even if Jaden starts?
Yeah.
You still want to try to get him involved early? Or?
We'll see. It'll be interesting. The press really makes me think about, having another ball handler in there, whether that's Eric Hunter or whether that's Ethan Morton, for this game. I think that probably for us, if we can get good shots and minimize our turnovers, we're obviously going to put ourselves in a better position. I thought in the other game, that wasn't going to be the case, and so I thought we could get him into some situations where we got him a lot of shots, and we were able to do that. That opened up, and he got good shots, Brandon, in the Northwestern game. So this game's a little bit different with how they play, and so I think if that's the case and that's what we do, we would go with one of those two guys.
What do you like about what Eric's doing kind of right now?
Well, 2 out of the last 3 games he's played really well. At Illinois and the Northwestern game, in both those games he played well at both ends of the court, and just giving us that mature pulse. handling the basketball, running the team, doing good things defensively. Obviously, it's a big ask when you got to guard guys like Plummer and Frazier and Boo Booey and guys that can really stretch the defense and dribble into tough three-pointers.
What's the balance you want to strike in terms of not just getting through the press, but actually attacking it and making an advantage for you?
Yeah, that's, it's that fine line, when you, especially if you can get some skips in there and get the ball centered right away. Like you can go high-low, you can look opposite, you can, we want those early post-ups, we want those step-in threes. When you can get those rhythm step-in threes from good shooters, we want that. So really working towards doing that. But if that doesn't present itself, getting into offense right away.
Right.
Like don't wait. Like move the basketball quickly or get into your set, depending on what we've called.
Can you just update us real quick on your 2 red shirts and what their availability timelines might be? Not to play, obviously, but the
Trey Kaufman should be able to start doing stuff here in a week or two. They said early February. I haven't asked in a while. So next week to 2 weeks, I would think he would start to do some things if he's not already. But I will ask that. Brian obviously is doing really well in his rehab, and his is longer, so he won't practice at all this year.